colonial laws, justice and equality.
A modern lawgiver for a modern India.
Exactly.
Okay, so from those early committees to the final adoption. But when did the Constitution actually come into effect?
Some provisions relating to citizenship, elections, those came into effect immediately.
On November 26th.
1949, yes. But the major portion, the birth of the Republic.
January 26, 1950. Republic Day.
It was a deliberate choice, connecting the new republic to a pivotal moment.
January 26, 1930.
The day the Indian National Congress declared Purna Swaraj, complete independence.
Wow, so they were honoring that declaration, linking the republic to the struggle for freedom.
Yes, a powerful gesture.
Okay, so on that day, the Indian Independence Act was repealed and the Government of India Act of 1935.
A symbolic break.
But what about the Constituent Assembly? Did they just pack up and go home?
Not quite. They became a provisional parliament.
Until the first general election.
Exactly. They enacted laws, guided the nation.
Nation builders.
They ensured a smooth transition to democracy.
Inspiring.
Yeah.
But were there any criticisms of the assembly or the process?
Oh, of course. No human endeavor is perfect.
Right.
Some argued the assembly wasn't truly representative.
Right.
Because of the indirect elections.
Not directly chosen by the people.
Yes. And some criticized the Congress Party's dominance.
Saying it might have stifled other voices.
Exactly. And some questioned the Assembly's sovereignty.
Especially in the beginning.
Right, because it was formed under the Cabinet Mission Plan, a British proposal.
That shadow of British rule.
Huh.
Did people have concerns about the drafting process itself?
Some felt it took too long. Nearly 3 years.
It was a massive undertaking.
Yeah, very meticulous, but some felt it was inefficient. And then there were criticisms about the content.
Like?
That it borrowed too heavily from other constitutions.
Not original enough.
Yes. Some wanted more socialist principles. Others felt it was too idealistic.
A reflection of the debates at the time.
Absolutely.
So how did the Assembly's supporters respond to all this?
They said it wasn't perfect, but it was the best they could do under the circumstances.
The pressure of time, balancing diverse interests, it must have been difficult.
They highlighted the diversity within the assembly.
Despite the Congress majority.
Right, and the meticulous process, the debates, the amendments.
A collective effort.
And they emphasized the Constitution's flexibility.
It could evolve. Adapt.
A living document.
It is. A remarkable achievement. But before we move on, let's talk about some of the lesser-known aspects of the Assembly.
The human side of things.
Exactly. What have you got?
Well, did you know they had an official symbol?
No.
The elephant.
The elephant, wow.
Wisdom, strength, memory.
Perfect. And what about the original Constitution? The calligraphy, the artwork?
Oh, it was beautiful. Handwritten in English by Prem Bihari Narain Rezada.
The entire thing.
In a flowing italic style.
Incredible. And the Hindi version?
Vasant Krishan Vaidya.
They played a role in shaping history.
They did. And artists from Shantiniketan were involved too.
Shantiniketan, Tagore's institution.
They adorned it with intricate designs.
Art and law coming together.
It was a testament to national pride. And of course, we can't forget Sir B.N. Rao, the constitutional advisor.
And H.V.R. Iyengar, the secretary.
Keeping everything running smoothly, making sure the pieces fit together.
The unsung heroes. Okay, so incredible details about the making of the Constitution. But what about its legacy?
The impact it's had.
Has it lived up to the aspirations of its framers?
That's a big question.
It is. But has it?
The Indian Constitution has been resilient, adaptable. It's guided India through so much. Wars, famines, economic booms and busts.
It's weathered many storms.
And emerged stronger.
A testament to its creators.
Absolutely. And remember, it's a living document. It's evolving. Through judicial interpretations, amendments, the interplay of political forces.
It's not static.
It's a framework for growth, for evolution.
We have a responsibility then.
We do, to continue building.
To safeguard those rights and freedom.
To build a nation that lives up to those ideals.
This deep dive, it's been a journey. We've explored the history, the debates, the personalities.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
Right. There's so much more to explore.
Especially for those preparing for the UPSC.
This is just the beginning.
Immerse yourself in the debates, the interpretations, the case law. Connect it to the real world.
The Indian Constitution, it's not just a historical document. It's a living entity.
It shapes lives.
And every Indian should understand it, engage with it.
We'll be back with more. We'll tackle some of the most frequently asked questions about the Constitution.
Those constitutional conundrums.
Get ready to have your queries answered.
Back for round 3. Our Indian Constitution deep dive.
Yeah.
We've journeyed through history, witnessed the birth of a nation's guiding document, explored those intricacies.
And we know you have questions. Think of this as your constitutional FAQ session.
Especially for you UPSC folks out there.
We've gathered the questions that keep popping up.
UPSC papers, online forums, even overheard some study group whispers. Ready to have your constitutional curiosities satisfied.
Absolutely. Let's dive right in.
Okay, first up, a classic.
Was the Constituent Assembly a sovereign body?
Ooh, that's a good one. Gets right to the heart of the matter, doesn't it?
It does. Legitimacy, authority.
So the Assembly, formed under the Cabinet Mission Plan, a British proposal.
Right.
Some say it was never truly sovereign.
Because of that British oversight.
But then India gains independence. The Assembly becomes the provisional parliament.
They even repealed the Indian Independence Act.
The very act that granted India its freedom, doesn't that point towards sovereignty?
It certainly does. Once independent, the Assembly was no longer bound by those British constraints.
Their decisions were final.
And they functioned as the legislative body.
So, a gray area initially, but ultimately full sovereign powers.
Most experts agree on that. Complete sovereignty after the Indian Independence Act.
But those early days, under the Cabinet Mission Plan,
Still debated.
a nuance that those UPSC examiners love.
Oh, they do.
Okay, another one. Why celebrate Republic Day on January 26th if the Constitution was adopted on November 26th?
It might seem late, but the dates are symbolic, historically significant.
January 26, 1930.
The Indian National Congress declares Purna Swaraj, complete independence.
That's right.
So by choosing January 26th for the Constitution to take effect,
They were connecting the Republic to that declaration.
honoring the struggle for freedom.
Okay, hit me with another UPSC brain twister.
All right. What's the difference between the date of adoption and the date of commencement of the Constitution?
They sound similar.
But they're not. Date of adoption, that's November 26, 1949.
The day the Assembly formally approved it.
Finalize the document, the culmination of all their efforts.
The Constitution's birthday?
You could say that.
But date of commencement?
January 26, 1950.
When the major portion actually came into force.
India officially became a republic.
Adopted in November. Operational in January. Why the gap?
A transition period. Time to set up administrative mechanisms, align existing laws, prepare for the shift.
From colonial state to republic.
Yes.
Okay, one more common UPSC question. How democratic was the drafting process?
Ah, yes. The debates rage on.
Some say it was representative, inclusive.
Okay.
Others point out limitations, exclusions. Let's break it down. Strengths first. Democratic perspective.
The diversity of the assembly. Members from different regions, religions, castes, even women.
A microcosm of India.
And that meticulous process, thousands of amendments debated, voted upon.
Sounds pretty democratic. But the criticism.
The indirect election.
Right. Not directly chosen by the people.
It raised questions about representation and then the Congress Party's dominance.
Potentially overshadowing other voices.
And some groups were underrepresented.
Women, marginalized communities.
Yes, sadly.
Yeah, so strengths and weaknesses. Nuanced and complex.
It shows that democracy is a journey, a striving for inclusivity, representation.
And even the Indian Constitution, a groundbreaking document.
It reflects both the progress and the remaining challenges.
We have a responsibility then to continue building.
You do, a more inclusive, just society.
This deep dive, it's been eye-opening. History, debates, personalities, the significance of the Indian Constitution.
More than just a document, really.
A reflection of India's spirit, its aspirations.
A living document shaping the lives of over 1 billion people.
And understanding it. Empowering.
For all citizens.
We hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity.
Whether you're prepping for the UPSC or just wanting to understand your nation better.
The Indian Constitution.
A treasure trove of knowledge.
So keep exploring.
Keep questioning.
And keep engaging.
With this extraordinary document.